We're fasting today.
Yeah, we're fasting today. I just pay attention to my body. Sometimes if I eat something heavy or I have a compound of eating something heavy over the last few months, my body will like send a signal, and the signal is it's like foggy thoughts or a lack of clarity. When I fast, it's only to draw closer to God. Whenever I feel hungry, I'll just say, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry to draw closer to you, God. So I associate hunger with wanting a deep desired connection with God. And anytime, all of a sudden, it's just like my dreams are so clear and aligned. My intuition is aligned, my clarity, my creativity. And I've just noticed there's a dissonance and typically it's something in the food, and so my body will rid the food and then replenish itself through the fast. You hungry? Hey. You just have so much fun. Like in the world of music, you can do whatever you want. But if you worry about what other people will think, you will never do whatever you want.
So you start with instrumental first?
Yeah, so what I do is I build the music. It's like a soundscape, the soul of the song. Like I'll put the first verse, second verse, the intro, the outro, the bridge, anything in the first 4 bars, first 8 bars. And when I get it to the apex of the song, that's when I say, oh, this will sound good as an intro, or this will sound good at first verse, and then I build the song that way. That's actually what a psalm is. Like when like in biblical terms, they said the book of Psalms, an actual psalm. Hi, baby. What are you doing? Hold on. Did you do your morning rituals? Go do your morning rituals and come back. Okay? And then we can have so much fun.
Can we show him the vitamin?
Yes, we can, but after you do your morning rituals.
Okay.
Okay, I love you. Look up the word psalm. Before it was in the Bible, it is a truth spoken out loud, and it's like a vibration resonating out loud. And so I create a psalm and then I build the song from the psalm. And so right now I'm working, one of my singles is Stolen Influence. The drums go forward to the floor in the second verse. It's not hitting the way that I want to. So you know the agreement. I come out of my room when my affirmations are done, because that's what gives you the energy and power for the whole day.
And I will keep this house when I grow up.
Sure, but you gotta have the energy for it. If you don't have the capacity for it, there's no way. And you're about to miss out on your special vitamin.
I'm going.
Okay.
It's amazing that part of the morning routine for her is affirmations.
Yeah, and she's 4. And the people, when I first started training her on affirmations, they're like, you shouldn't a child's brain isn't developed yet. She doesn't know what she's saying. That's why we live in a world of suffering, because the ages at 0 to 7 is where the things are installed. And by the time the brain develops, it's already absorbed the trauma, the triggers, the hatred, the insecurities. And one thing I always tell people is if you don't tell yourself who you are, you'll live a life based off of who you think other people think you are. Before Soul could speak, I was doing mirror affirmation. Don't give her words to say. This is what people say online. I was like, she needs a structure. And when she learns to develop her own words, she can do it. There's no way. Yep, she's doing it right now. And so just because you didn't do it and you didn't have a parent that was conscious enough to do that doesn't mean that you should limit our daughter. Dobby's licking my feet because he's hungry, and then what curbs his hunger is whatever he tastes on my feet until he gets food. Alright, I'm gonna feed you, bro. If you have anything to eat, he will stare at you for 3 hours just like that, and then as soon as you open up your mouth, he'll open up his mouth. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Sweet. All right, we'll come back in here. It begins. Chief is waking up, Soul is waking up, and we do it again. So grateful to be a dad, husband, businessman, artist, creator, son of God.
Do you keep like a active set of goals that you're working towards?
Less about the goals and more about the state that I want to be in. Like I'll have a goal, but I won't harp on the goal. God is way more powerful than I am. And every time I just let it go and I'm unattached, something way better happens. It's been like this since I was a little kid. I think goal setting is important, but being attached to the goal will have you winding up, not truly accessing the potential of what that goal could have been if you allowed God to intervene and do what God is called to do.
Hey girl. Good.
Lock twist. I don't even know why they call them locks. Called opens. My openings, my antennas. This when I started, and then you pull, twist, rinse, pull, twist, rinse. I'm gonna get my whole stuff done, retwisted. Long hair do care. I just want her to get her hands in there, shampoo it. Just recently went through my own purification of what the is happening to my life. It's like there's no people right now currently in my life, except for one that was around when I was homeless, when I was living in my car. They only know the stories. I just went through another version of that. The only difference was I was always single. Going through a purification stage, a devoted husband, father, and you got 2 businesses. Woo! I went through that, and it was every area of my life was tested. I could just hear and feel God saying, you don't know this level of trust. Can you trust even deeper? And I was scared for a minute. It was a lot of stuff, like everything. My marriage was tested, money was tested, business was tested, but I knew, because I don't put out negative energy, I knew this was something spiritual. I knew the midst of me going through that phase, one of my friends blew her brain out.
Oh my God.
Brains out. So it's like I'm holding in all of this. Some of it is pain, some of it is attachment, things I need to let go of. I asked God, I'm like, God, remove anything and anyone that doesn't belong in my life. And I was like, wait, not that.
Right.
Too much. Too fast.
Too much.
At the apex of that, that's when my friend blew her brains out. And she was one of the most mentally strong people I know. I was sitting in her funeral, and I'd never been to a suicide funeral before. And I was just like, man. And that's when it hit me. Sheila didn't know how to ask for help. She knew how to ask for help, but in that area right there, holding a world full of pain, and who do you share that with? Who do you share your most deep, intimate secrets with? I recognized while I was at the funeral, I was like, wait a second, I don't even know who to talk to. I'm holding in a bunch of stuff. And it was in that moment, Sheila's death blessed me with the gift of learning how to ask for support. I manifested support, but I never picked up the phone and be like, yo, I need help. So I was asking people for help, and I didn't even know what I need help with.
Right.
They're like, what do you need help with? I don't know. And then what I saw was they were just reflecting. So what I'm hearing you say, oh, I went through this that one time. What made this so hard is because I never went through a purification phase with a family. And you still gotta show up, still gotta be on the call, still gotta run the business. So there was no space for me. And I called my friend Aubrey. He said, come over. We went walking for like 2-3 hours. He said, take my ranch. Some good alone time. My boy Amir said the same thing. Men need some aspect of alone time to like sit and process. And I realized I hadn't given myself, well, everybody needs that, but I hadn't given myself that. So I took that ranch, unplugged for a week. It was exactly what I needed. I got to sit down and look at all the open loops in my life. Conversations I know I needed to have, I haven't been having them. Things I've been avoiding that I know it's important for me to do, but I've been avoiding them because I can't be bothered. People that I tolerated. So many loose ends and open loops, kind of like when you look at a cell phone and all the apps are open, it slows the phone down. That's the same thing that was going on in my life. So I pulled,
my brain. That's
I
crazy.
pulled out the big whiteboard and I wrote down every concern, every worry, every insecurity, every shame, every joy, everything I was excited about. I wrote it all down, and just by emptying all the puzzle pieces, I got to see what was there. Then I categorized them in friends and family, relationships, finances, business, hobbies, and then it started to form. I was like, wait a second, I can see why I feel stagnant. I was like, you gotta pass these tests, homie. One by one, in each category, I just said, the version of me that's at the next level is the one that's on the other side of all these loops. And I left there after 5 days with 27 closed loops. And I came out with this wide capacity, instantly impacted my kids for the better, my money for the better, the business for the better, my marriage for the better.
I love that.
And that's the space that I'm in right now.